Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel, and a very special episode today. We are doing a collaboration with another YouTube artist whose channel is Happy Artist Tash. I'll put a link to her channel in the description. Go check her out. So we had a very nice Zoom call and chatted a little bit about acrylic pouring, and we've both decided that we are going to be using the same color palette today, but using different techniques. But before we get to that, I'm going to cut through to our Zoom chat so you guys can see what we chatted about, and then I'm going to cut back and do the pour. Enjoy. Okay, guys, welcome to this first collab between myself and my channel, Acrylic Pour Art with G, and Happy Artist Tash.
Happy Artist Tash.
Yeah, Happy Artist Tash. And amazingly, we both sort of in the Cape Town area. It's such a small world, and yeah, it just turned out that she was in Somerset West. I'm in Cape Town, so yeah, this is very cool to do a collab with her. She does quite a lot of art as well, same stuff as I do, and I'm sure probably some other stuff as well. So I'm sure we'll chat about that. But Tash, thanks for agreeing to the collab. It's really cool.
Thank you. It's a great idea.
Yeah, no, listen, we might as well join forces because it's tough to make it on your own out there. That's for sure.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
So,
what is your favorite technique? Tell
my
me.
favorite technique, I think anything with cells is my favorite technique. I like the well, when I started with the tree ring pours, which were cool. I mean, you get some nice grinding stuff out of that. But I tended to find that they're all pretty similar. You know, you've got the spirals and you've got the different colors, almost looking like a wormhole, you know, type vibe. And for me, with putting a little bit of silicone in, I mean, it just makes such a difference to the painting that you do. Even now, if I do a tree ring pour, I'll put silicone in and just have the cells come up because just to make it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, I like all this. I like all the techniques. So yeah, at the moment, I think. I'm enjoying the flip cups, so I'd have to say that's my favorite. Yeah. And how about you? What's your favorite technique?
Okay, cool. So my favorite technique, I started on the Dutch pour, not realizing how technical they actually are. I just saw that you thin down your paint, which meant less paint to be used. So I went for that, paint and water, and made a mess of it for quite a while. So I perfected that first, and I think that's why I find it the most enjoyable technique. Yeah,
I mean, I enjoy the Dutch pour as well. My struggle is to get the spaces right on the Dutch pour, rather than just sort of blowing out the whole thing. Is to have that sort of bit of white,
it's amazing what technology can do.
Whatever, you know.
Are we winning?
Sorry about that. First, it lost connection.
No.
And the battery on my camera ran out, so I was like just trying to get everything sorted.
Oh my!
You know, tech never works when you want it to work. So.
Of course not.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But I'll just edit it up, so we won't have to worry about it.
Yeah, no. Nah.
Cool.
The amount of takes we have to do, I completely get it. No problem.
What were we talking about? Just our favorite painting styles, I think it was.
Yes.
What type or brand of paints do you use? I mean, there's not very many in South Africa available.
Yeah. So I started on the little $1 tubs that you get at pretty much any of the craft stores, just because they're the cheapest. But yeah, then I've moved on to either using art jamming paints, they're acrylics, and I also use the Gecko Art pre-mixed paints as well. Okay. And yourself?
Cool. I'm just trying to think. I can't think of them offhand, but I've got some right here. Yeah, the main ones I use are these Prime Art Iris. They come in these small tubes. Oh, put it aside. They come in these small tubes or the big 200ml tubes. And they're all pretty much the same price. And then the one I use for metallics is this Reeves. They've come in like 4 different metallic colors.
Okay.
One of the few brands I found that actually do metallic. So that's quite cool. But just found a site called Bastion Paints. And they actually way cheaper than anyone else.
Yes.
So I've ordered a few 1 liter tubs just to test them out. And yeah, they've been working fine. And they're probably, you know, per milliliter or whatever, they're probably half the price of buying it
I buy all my stuff online at artattack.co.za.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been quite good
Yes.
to find something a bit cheaper because yeah, it's an expensive hobby.
It can get very, very expensive. It's actually very interesting. I've used their silicone. They actually call it a cell former, and it's amazing. Okay, let's have a look at their paints. That's interesting.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I ordered some because I was short of silicone oil. I ordered some when I got the paints from Bastion, but it wasn't their specific cell formula. It was just the normal silicone, and yeah, it seems to be working well. So I'll definitely be ordering some more from them. And do you go buy new canvases for every pour? Do you go over old ones or?
So in the beginning, yeah, I used to repurpose my canvases because I have quite a few small boards that I test on first.
Okay.
And I literally clean all the silicone off, prime them twice, wait for it to dry, and then reuse it. Because yes, buying canvases at the moment it's a relatively expensive process. So yeah, it's only really if I sell something that I'll end up buying another canvas to replace it.
Yeah, I mean,
yourself?
I wish I had started like that because I'm sitting with like 50 canvases that I've poured, and I can't sell any paintings. You know, I've sort of put them online on Facebook and I've given some to my friends and family.
Yes.
But I haven't actually sold one yet. So my wife keeps telling me she's a chartered accountant. That's my taxes. She's like, well, as soon as you sell one, we can start putting it through as expenses.
Okay.
All the paint and the canvas. So I'm like just desperate for someone to buy one so I can get going. But yeah, I mean, since in the last year, I must have spent a good, 10,000-15,000 on all the canvas and paint, and I buy that flow troll as well, which is like $1,500 for 5 liters. So it's it's an expensive hobby, but hopefully one day someone will like it and pay me some money for them, so I can start making some money back.
Exactly. So one thing I've learned is just because you don't like it doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to like it. So yeah, you gotta give it a chance.
Yeah, that's true. And how do you sell your stuff? I mean, do you sell a lot of your stuff or?
I've sold about 3 so far, and they're literally just at this point it was painting just out of the fun of it. It's not a commission piece, and then I put them on Facebook Marketplace, all the social media platforms. I looked into Etsy and some of the other places as well, but you end up having to pay money to keep them there. And I thought, well, at this point, I rather just want to put it out there, and if they sell, they sell. If they don't, they don't. So yeah, that's what I've been using so far. But yes, it's very, very slow. So
yeah, I understand. But I also think it's sort of Corona related because people are struggling for cash and people have lost their jobs, so they don't have extra money to buy a piece of art, to put in their lounge or whatever. So I'm hoping that's part of it. But I guess we'll only know once we get out of this whole mess.
Exactly. Yeah, the last thing people are going to look at right now is buying art, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know.
But it's at least a hobby that's keeping us sane. So
yeah, cool. What else? I was going to ask you something else. Are you an art? Have you been an artist like from the beginning, or is this a new thing for you, sort of branching into the art world?
So I did art at school, oil painting though, so very, very different, fine art oil painting. So yeah, I think that's where I got a lot of the creativity from. And I actually just stumbled upon it. A friend of mine gave me a gift. She'd poured 2 boards as a swipe, basically, because she loves doing swipes. So she gave me 2 boards and I said, wow, what is this? How did you do this? This is incredible. And she explained it to me and I went, YouTube. And that's where I got sucked into the wormhole of trying to figure out how to do pouring. And that's where I am now.
Yeah. I was the same. I think my son actually showed me because my son's got his own little YouTube channel. Now he does Minecraft, but before he started the whole Minecraft mission, he was doing like, a bit of art and a bit of home science experiments and stuff. And he showed me this video of an acrylic pour, and I was like, "Ooh, that looks cool." And so I did a few with him. And then after 3 or 4, he lost interest as kids do. And I was like, "Oh well, I'm enjoying it. Of course, so I'll just carry on doing it." So I've only been doing it for a year, but I've already got no art background at all. I mean, I didn't do art at school. I like to think I'm creative, but I've got no sort of art skills I can draw a little bit, but I've
Yes.
never done painting or any of that thing. So
Yeah.
for me, it's such a good way to express your creativity without having to have those, you know, those fine art skills or any art skills for that matter. I mean, you know, if you mix everything properly and do it, you know, follow the steps, you can also get a good result, which I think is good for people who subscribe to our channels to see, you know, they can actually do this as well. It's not a difficult thing to do. You just follow a few basic rules.
No, you don't need, you genuinely don't need any experience.
No, exactly, So for me, that was a bonus, and it's given me something to do over the whole lockdown. I mean, you know, over the hard lockdown, those 3 months, I must have done, you know, 2 or 3 a week, maybe more, just to keep myself busy and learn how to do it. So yeah, it's been great. It's been a godsend.
Yeah.
So now I just need to make a little business out
of it. It has definitely. Yeah. Eventually. So tell me then, did you just start pouring for the fun of it and then it kind of developed into a channel, or how did it start?
Yeah, I think so. As I said, I started doing it with my son on his channel. So I bought sort of all this stuff for him to do it. And then when he got tired of it, there was still all this stuff left over. So I was like, oh, well, let me just keep going. And then, then after I'd done maybe 20 pours, I thought, well, and, you know, having watched all the other YouTube channels, I thought, oh, well, let me just start my own YouTube channel and see what happens. And you know, it's growing at a reasonable rate. It's not shooting up, but I just enjoy making art, and the fact that I'm filming it is, you know, it's sort of secondary to me. It's just really so other people can see, you know, the different designs and maybe some, because when I started, probably the same with you, you know, I just learned everything from those YouTube channels. So I was like, oh, you know, this technique is cool, let me try it, or this color combination, or let me paint thinner or thicker or whatever. So I mean, it's been really great that all this information is just out there on YouTube. And you know, if you're willing to go down the rabbit hole, you can really start doing it for yourself.
You can. It's got a deep rabbit hole, but it's good.
and bring your wallet along as well, because it ain't cheap.
Exactly. Look, you can start off cheap, but I think I realized very quickly that if you do the cheap routes, you don't get the same results because the paint isn't the good enough quality, the medium isn't working properly. I mean, I even bought the wrong silicone altogether, so I wasn't developing cells, and I was just like, I was pouring tons of silicone into my paint without realizing. So I thought, more silicone, more cells, you know. So you start to realize you waste money doing it that way around.
No, exactly.
Very interesting.
I think you know, I've always said, well, on my channel, that I'm going to try and do like 2 videos a week, but I think I'm going to have to cut down a little bit and maybe just do 1 pour a week, just to save on cost. You know, maybe when I start selling a few paintings, then I can do it more frequently. But at the moment, it's just a hobby for me, so I don't really want to pump, you know, too much more money into it. But I don't want to stop doing it, so I need to find the balance between you know, enjoyment and breaking my bank account. So hopefully, I'll sort that out soon.
Exactly. Totally get you. Get you.
Do you have any other questions, or shall we tell everyone about what we are planning on doing?
Yeah, let's tell everybody.
Cool, guys. So what we decided was just to show how the different techniques work. Tash and I are going to use the exact same color palette, but we're going to be doing it with different techniques. So I think I said I was going to do a flip cup pour. So I'll be doing one of my triple flip cup pours. So you would have seen plenty of those on my channel in the last sort of month. But I just love the technique at the moment. So I'm just going to do it again. And I think Tash said she's going to do an open cup pour. Is that right?
An open cup.
Yeah, an open cup pour, Yes,
I really love doing the open cup because it gives you the cells, but at the same time you can kind of control it a little bit. So
actually the first few open cup pours I did, I'm not really sure what I had done wrong, but I didn't get nearly as many cells as I thought I would, or from what I saw on people's channels.
Okay.
And literally in the last 2 months, I've just been making my paints just way thinner than they normally are. You know, when I first started and they showed you the little trickle down, you know, the little mound should be there for 3 seconds or 2 seconds.
And the mound.
Now literally I don't have a mound. I get it to the point where it's sort of as I pour it on, it just sort of goes straight in. And since I've started doing that, I mean, the cells have been like ridiculous. So my reasoning is that the paint was too thick for the layers to come up. So
100%.
I stumbled onto that.
Correct,
yeah. So
yeah.
I think what did we say that the colors we're gonna use are, we're gonna have white as a base.
Oh yeah.
And then
purple, and then we're doing your pink and purple. Yes. And then a lime green and an aqua.
Yeah. I'll be using that green light. It's called.
Okay.
And yes. You said aqua or something.
Okie dokies. Yes, aqua's my favorite. Absolutely love it.
Okay, cool. Is that the same as turquoise, or is it just a different name? Or is it a bit more bluer? Or
yeah.
Okay.
I love when you walk into the paint stores or a craft store, they have turquoise and then aqua and then another color, and they all look the same, but they've got different names. But yes, pretty much turquoise.
Okay, no, that'll be good. I will. I'll do the pour this afternoon. I'll get everything ready and do it. What are you going to do it on a canvas or on a board or?
Yes, I'm actually doing it on one of those thin boards. So I'm propping it up with a box, and I'm going to pour on one of the thin boards. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and you?
I'm just going to stick to my 16 by 16 box canvas. Those are just the ones I like.
Cool. Those are very nice to work.
Yeah, I just like when you put them on the wall, they sort of give a bit more sort of depth, I guess. Rather than having to, I don't know what you do with the flat ones. I guess maybe frame them or. Yeah. I suppose you could just put them on the wall anyway.
Yeah, frame them or. Yeah. So at this point, I use them mostly as like my test subjects. One I've actually given away, but then we make a frame which I then nail to the back of them.
Oh, nice.
So but that gets
that's definitely more cost effective. Yeah, definitely more cost effective than box canvases. So maybe I should start doing that as well.
Definitely. No, they're difficult to not warp though. You've got to be so careful you don't warp them, specifically with the thinner. Yeah, with the thinner consistencies, there's a lot more water in your mix, and they warp very, very quickly. So you've got to be so careful.
Yeah, I did I'm actually an amateur magician as well, and I've got literally I've got like 50 or 60 card boxes that I just had in like a CD rack. And I found it, you'll see on one of my videos, I found a box that I wanted to pour the top of. And not thinking, it's not canvas, it's cardboard. And so, I did my whole pour with the swipe and stuff. And then the whole box just sort of bowed out like that. And I was like, oh, damn. But actually, when it dried, it's gone flat again. So I was quite happy about that. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Good. Able to salvage it.
No, exactly.
Awesome.
Okay, cool, man. Well, should we even do our pours? I don't know if you're even going to do yours now. I mean, you can do it anytime, I suppose.
Yes. I've actually mixed mine, and they're ready and waiting.
Oh, cool, I'm gonna mix mine now, and then just let them sit, for 45 minutes, and then I'll come and do it. But guys, I think what we are going to do is, if you're watching this video on my channel, I'm going to now cut to my pour, and if you're watching this video on Tash's channel, she's also going to cut to her pour. So if you want to see the results of both our pours, just head over to the other channel. We're going to put the links in the descriptions below. So head over there and see what the same color palettes can look like using different techniques. I think you guys are going to be surprised at what comes out. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the results as well.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see it and compare.
And I think that's about it for now. Anything else from you, Tash?
Awesome. Yeah, no, you've covered it. I'm happy. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, what I thought actually for my poll, because I normally sort of just read through it, but I know you mentioned the other day that you've got quite a lot of sort of beginners starting and watching your channel. So I'm actually going to try and make it a fairly detailed pour in terms of show everyone exactly how much paint I'm using.
Cool.
That sort of thing, and just make it a bit more step by step. So if people want to follow it, they can, rather than me just sort of saying, "Oh, I've mixed my paints." I'm doing that. So I'll do a bit of a step by step.
Exactly.
For this one, and then you can do the same, and then we'll get together later in the week and show off our artwork, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, lovely. Cool. Sounds perfect. Yeah, I definitely find the more information in the videos, the better. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, and it's easy to forget that, you know, maybe there are people watching that are beginners or have only done 1 or 2 pours, and, you know, here we are on our like 60th pour, and we feel like we're experts, but, you know, we're not. We're just following the basics of the acrylic pouring, and I think the results come, you know, if you follow those steps. So
definitely, 100% agree. Perfect.
Okay, cool, man. Well, guys, thanks for watching, and Tash, thanks for coming on my channel, and thanks for having me on your channel. And
thank you for coming to my channel.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we'll chat later in the week once everything's dry, and then maybe do another collab, you know, in the future sometime.
Yes, perfect. Sounds great, Shane. Thanks, G.
Cool. Thanks, Tash.
Right, guys, welcome back. The paints have been mixed and they've been chilling for about 30 minutes. I've got my 5 different colors here, same colors that Tash is going to be using for her pour. I'm just going to add the silicone in. I put 4 drops of silicone oil into each color, and this is what creates the cells that you see in all these paintings. There are techniques to do it without silicone oil, but I haven't sort of advanced to that stage yet, because it's just much easier just to use a few drops of silicone oil to make your cells. So make sure you mix it in thoroughly. I found that obviously the more you mix it, the more the silicone gets blended into the paint, and the smaller cells you get. The less you mix it, the bigger cells you get. So I like to create a lot of cells in my pours, so I just give it a thorough mixing. And yeah, when we apply a little bit of heat to the pour later, you guys will see all the cells appear. Right, as discussed on my Zoom chat with Tash, I'm going to be doing a flip cup technique. As per my last few videos, I'll be doing the flip cups, and she's going to be doing the open cup pour, but we're going to be using the same color palette. So we wanted to see what the different techniques would bring. So what I'm going to do now is layer up my paints. I'm not going to show you all of them, but for those of you who are maybe watching or following along, I just want to give you an idea of what I do. So for the first, I always do a double layer of each paint. I've got my paint order here: purple, white, green, turquoise and pink. So I always start with the darker color on the bottom, and I pour it down the side like that, like you'd be, you know, pouring a cocktail, so that the liquids don't mix. And I pour about the same quantity of each one in there. I've just remembered I've got to do 3 cups, so I don't need to use too much. And then for the second layer, I repeat the colors, but I pour the paints from a bit of a height so that the paints penetrate through the other layers of paint. And this is what gives you the awesome colored cells at the end, because of the different paints mixing together. So don't need too much. Right, so this is what I'm going to do for 3 cups. I won't bore you with the entire pouring process, but I'm going to cut back once all the other cups are filled. Right guys, there we go. We've got all 3 cups layered up in the same order with the same colors. So let me get them down onto the canvas. Just had a few little spills here, but that's all right. This will all be covered soon. Right, there we go. We get the first one down. There we go. That wasn't a very good one. It spilled quite a lot. Second one. And let's do the third one. Also spilt a bit, but that's all right. Not too much of wastage. And then what I like to do is let the cups sit like this for a little while, just to let the paint come down the sides, because they weren't perfectly full, or they weren't full to the brim. So we just wait for that paint to settle. In the meantime, I'll make sure I've got my flamer ready and my gloves. Right guys, that should be enough time for it to have come down. I'm now going to do the flip and drag, where I sort of lift up the one edge of the cup and drag it across the canvas to make a nice swipe, just like that. And then always put the little leftovers on the corners, because it just helps promote the paint going over the corners when you tilt it. Right, let's try this one. Put this on this corner here. Really getting some crazy cell action here. And then we'll do the last one. There we go. Yeah, very interesting colors. A lot of green coming out. I think once we tilt now, we might get rid of that. But yeah, you can already see the cells developing here. So I've just got a little piece of card that the canvas comes wrapped in, and I just fold it at the corner so that I can keep as much paint on as possible when I tilt. But let's get going with that tilt, guys. Right guys, there we go. It has a fair amount of green in it, but there are some nice purple seams here, so I think once I flame it, we're going to see a lot of that purple coming through. Not sure about this corner, whether I should stretch it out here or not, but I think I'm just going to leave it for now because I think we're going to get a lot of cell action here, so I don't want to change it too much. Let's get going with the flame. Yeah, I must say I'm not getting as much cell action as I normally do. I'm not sure whether I had too much paint on. I'm just going to try and tilt a little bit more and just take some of this off and just see what happens, because there was a lot of green on there and a lot of layers of paint still. So maybe if I take this down like that, we'll get a lot more cell action this side, and I suppose it is starting to come here, I must say. A lot here, but not a whole lot in this section here, which is a bit weird. Not sure that I love the lime green. I don't think it really goes with the other colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tilt it down this way and see if we can get some of that green off, and get it more of a purpley pink type vibe. Still keep a little bit of green in it, I think, but yeah, I think I prefer the pink. I mean, I think I prefer the purple to the green. I seem to have lost oh, there it is. Right guys, there we go. I'm not sure I'm going to get too much more cell action. Just didn't seem to happen today for some reason. Yes, there are, a fair amount of cells, but just not the normal amount. And also the fact that I've tilted once I've already sort of brought the cells out means that they're quite misshapen, which I don't love. But there is some nice purple coming through here, and I think the pink is really nice as well. But as you all know, the green is not my favorite color. But I do like this light green with purple, so I thought it would go quite well together. But yeah, it just always seems to take over the canvas when you've got a green, especially a light green like this. It's a very strong color. But yeah, it's not bad at all. I think I've done better flip cup pours as per my last few videos, where I got way more cells, and maybe having the black in as well. I didn't have black in this time. Helps out with the contrast between the different cells. So the aqua and the green don't really contrast as much with each other, as if there were, black in there. Then you'd see, the green standing out against the black. But yeah, those were the colors we chose. So these are the results that we get. It's not a terrible painting, but not one of my favorites. But hey, what can you do? I will be Zoom calling Tash again this week, just to have a look at our paintings once they dry. You guys, obviously, if you want to see what she's done, you can just click over to her channel. I'm sure she'll be posting the video pretty soon. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this collab, guys. It was great fun meeting another artist. you know, chatting about our favorite techniques and those sort of things, and then doing a pour. I'm really interested to see how hers is going to turn out, so I'll be going over to her channel as soon as that video is out and checking out the results. But yeah, that's going to be it for me for now. Hope you guys had a good weekend, and I will be doing another pour later in the week. So until then, guys, keep well. Here's the close-up.